Hey YouTube, welcome to RV Daydream. We're back talking about power stations. The last one that I did a review on, everybody said, I don't know, that thing seems awful big, it's awful heavy, I don't know if I can get it around being 50 pounds. Half the weight, half the wattage, best mid-size power station that you can buy.
Have you been up to?
I've been riding on a daydream.
As the name implies, Alpha ESS. These portable power stations, they have a big following and a big demand out there on the YouTubes and with the van life community and with the RVers that are doing a lot of boondocking. Now in our situation, we just rely on our generator there. Of course, I've got to haul around this propane. We got to hook it all up, and that's just to run the air conditioner. But anything else that I need to run that I don't want to tax the battery that's currently on the RV, although it is being fed by solar, this can be powered by solar, and it's a lot easier to move around. We also have a weird situation that we do whenever we get into locations, that we put up a camera inside the truck, maybe if we're boondocking for the night, or even if we stay at a hotel and we've got a shady parking garage that we're going to stay at. We have a couple cameras that are in there that don't run off of the truck's batteries. Having a power station, that will allow us to run those cameras, but more importantly, this will allow you to work remotely. For you guys that are in the outback, for you guys that are actually wanting to go out for the weekend, this thing does a lot. So a little bit about the company, Alpha ESS. I never heard about this company. Guess who in 2021 was the 6th most or largest supplier of battery storage in the US and the world? Definitely have a company that you can deal with that's not a fly-by-night. Let's go ahead and open this up. This thing in here is called the Black Bee 1000. They also are going to come out with a 2000, but let's look at the 1000 and what it has to offer. What I'm finding with a lot of these companies is that the box that it comes in, the retail box that's, overboxed, a lot of information on this, a lot of good information on this, so that they don't include literature to clutter things up, although there may still be a manual in there. So you can see this is just basically the model number AP1000. Again, they refer to this as the Black Bee 1000. I think it kind of looks like a bumblebee, so they just call it a Black Bee. If we go to the side here, it tells you what's inside. It comes with a USB-C cable. It's about 3 foot long, an AC adapter with the power cable, your car charger cable, a warranty card. I'll talk about the warranty, one of the best warranties out there. Oh, it does have a user manual. See, perfect information. How about the back side? This is going to show you all the components. I'm sure this is also covered in the manual. You have your recharge status indicator up top here, your button. You have input power display, info display, output power display, system temperature status display, and then all of your imports. I know, or ports, input ports. There's some output here also, but 12. I know that you can do 12 devices simultaneously, which is really cool. You have 2 wireless charging pads up on top, and then you have your light switch, and then the button, of course, the light, which there's a couple of those. Now, for the nerds out there that like to know a little bit more information, there you go, 1036 watt hours. It's lithium ion. Obviously, it does have MPPT charging that's available. It will support that. You have 1,000 plus or minus life cycles before you have to drop down to only 80% maximum. So you'll get quite a bit out of this thing before you got to be concerned with it deteriorating, and that's pretty much all lithium ion batteries. You have a DC input port, and then you have a USB. You see all these USBs that are available. You have a 2.4 outlet, you have the QC Quick Charge 3.0, you have a 100 watt, 5 volt, 9 volt, 12 volt, 15 volt, 3 amp, 20 volt, 5 amp input, output. Nice, very nice. There's your DC output port, which we also know as just a power port in your vehicle. Same thing. You do have AC output. Wireless charging output, that's the up on top. It's a 10 watt times 2, which is nice. your recharging operating temperature. So these are the temperatures in which it can operate. Obviously, you can't be in Arizona and have this thing out in the sun, not protected, and expect it to do anything above 100 degrees. Your dimensions on this thing: 13.5 by 10 by 10.5 inches, and there we go, 25 pounds. Again, a lot of information there. Here's those cables they were talking about. Again, your power port cable, your cigarette lighter, let's just say that, your regular household outlet. Here's the charging brick that you have. This thing is a 2.5 amp input, 9.47 amp output for the recharge. There's your USB cable. It's a USB-C to USB-C. Oh, the warranty. All right, might as well talk about the warranty. This thing comes with a 2-year warranty, 2 years, which is exceptional. One of the best out there from a really reputable company. But if you register, and here's your register information, you get another year. You get another 12 months. So 3 years for a warranty on this. That's very good. That's better than most that are out there. And then, of course, the user manual. Again, this is basically the same information that I just showed you on the back that goes into a little bit more detail. It'll talk about charging times. That information's in here. So now to the meat and potatoes of things. We'll go ahead and pull off this high density foam, and it does look like a big bumblebee. So let's take this plastic off. A little bit windy today, so we'll make sure that we put it in a place that it won't blow away. And then the handle, yellow. There we go. 25 pounds, that's about right. So look at this baby. This is like some sort of high density plastic, and it does have rubber feet, big rubber feet on here, so you don't have to worry about this thing moving around too much once you place it down somewhere. Go ahead and look at the side here. Yep, there's ventilation in here, so there may be a fan that's built into this. There's your light. These are 2 lights. Wow. That is very cool. I'll tell you what this would come in handy for us with our lighting when we shoot videos. Sometimes our lighting's not the best, and we have dark spots, especially on our faces, especially with me when I wear a hat. That'd be kind of nice. All right, and again, a vent on that side. So let's go ahead and look at what the display shows here. So you have 3 of these AC outlets. Anytime that you're trying to turn on one of these, there should be a button that corresponds with what you're trying to turn on. So let's say I want to turn on this power port. You know, I would push that, and then this would be live. All right, so the lights on this and the display, this is pretty common with most of these devices. Not very bright. Understandable. I mean, the more LED brightness that they add to these devices, the more power that it takes away from the battery's capacity. So Heidi's telling me that if you just touch these once, these are all green lights that come on, including the info. If you do input here, which this is your charging, once you hook up to that, this light will light up also. And I'm sure that will change once it's fully charged. However, this will tell you, like in this case, it is at 48%. So it does tell you, you have your 3 outlets for 110. And then, of course, your USB, what you can do with your USB there. Not only the USB-C, but you do have a traditional USB there for a lot of devices that are still out there. Now, the other thing that it has, which is really cool, and I do have a cover on my Samsung phone. This is an S22 Ultra 5G. To turn on the wireless charging up top, double-click the info button. And even through the case, this started charging, which was actually shocking, to tell you the truth. I didn't think that it would do it through this case, because my case is pretty heavy. So you can see my phone's at 89%. That went ahead and started charging it. That is pretty awesome. I'm assuming a double press turns that off. A couple of things about the unit itself. Of course, it has a pure sine wave configuration, so you have clean power coming out of it. The other thing that it has that I look on all of these is pass-through charging. So the good thing about pass-through charging is that if you have something that you're running continuously and you recharge it, or you replenish this battery unit occasionally, what you can do is, like for the example of the truck, whenever we park the truck, there is no power inside available in any of the power ports. So I can plug in the cameras that I have powered inside the truck, and the cameras will continuously record and observe the truck as we sit. And I can leave this out of the way and plugged into those cameras to know they always have power. Then once we start up the truck and I have this continuously plugged into my power port inside the truck that only powers whenever the truck is running, it will recharge the device and it will continue to power the cameras. So that's what they call pass-through charging, meaning that whatever you have hooked up to it will continuously be powered even though the unit is accepting a charge at that point also. As far as if nothing's connected to this and you just plug it into the household outlet, you're going to take 7 to 8 hours for this to go from 0 to full charge. That's pretty typical of these units. I've seen them as low as 4 hours for ones that have big power bricks. But of course, plugging into the household outlet is going to be the most efficient way of getting it charged. You can charge this with solar panels. It does have MPPT capability, so that it will take the solar panels and use it to its fullest to get this thing charged. Just a good build. As far as the way that it looks and everything, I mean, it's got a nice rubber texture on the handle here. I mean, it's a rubber grip underneath. And again, I like the way that the lighting looks on this, based on the fact that we have a tendency to have a problem with some of the lighting that we do inside the RV when filming. But it's kind of like a little mini cooler. I'll tell you, as far as the weight, you can picture this like a little Playmate cooler, and it being full with pop for sure, and then a little bit more. So 25 pounds. You got to remember that bowling balls, the men's bowling balls, the heavy bowling balls, are 16 pounds. So this is 10 pounds heavier than that. So be aware that you're not lugging around something small, and that's because it has 1,000-watt capability. So all the links are going to be down in the description. Click the link. It'll take you right to the site and let you purchase this outright, so you know exactly which one you're getting. And we're going to have a discount code for our subscribers that will give them a percentage off of their purchase, which of course everybody's hip on that, right? Who wouldn't want a discount? So Alpha ESS, again, they call this the Black B1000. That's its nickname. Look forward to seeing maybe a bigger unit in the future from this company. This is the mid-size, and it's actually been rated as one of the best mid-size units that are out there. And it's funny because it wasn't that long ago, just 5 years ago, that a 500-watt, half this size, that one used to be considered mid-size, and now the 1,000 watts of mid-size. So they're moving up. People have a big demand for these things. Rest assured that you're getting a good unit from a good company, and you don't have to really be concerned about am I going to get stiffed by someone that's a fly-by-night. That's not this company at all. So hope this helped out. Again, links are in the description, and I hope to see you out here. Bye.